Okay. Can everybody hear me properly? Just put your thumbs up if you can hear me. Thank you. Great, great. Everybody, thank you. My name is Livna. Thank you for joining me. I'm the representative of Masa in South Africa, well, the whole of South Africa. Today, we've decided to have a day of an internship, sorry, a day in the gap year life of a participant of Masa. You're going to hear basically a little bit of how they spend their time on the program, who they share their accommodation with, and what is it like, adjusting to the Israeli culture while on the Masa program. We've got a great lineup of programs and organizers that are with us today. Before I introduce you to our programs, I would like to actually let you know that for our MASAP programs for gap years, we've got automatic grants available for anybody that would like to do a MASAP program up to 10 months, which is about $8,500. So you get an automatic grant. You don't need to see financials. You just apply online, and you can actually participate and get in contact with our organizers. I'll put some details down. You're welcome to contact me. Our organizers will put some their details down, and you may take them and get in touch with us afterwards. What I would like to do now is call up Yahel. Is Dana Flamy with us, the Executive Director for Yahel?
So as I told you, Donna's in other meetings today, but I'm here for your help.
Oh, okay. Okay, Grace. That's fantastic. So you've got the floor. You're welcome to start and tell us about Yahel.
Okay, great. I'm really happy to be talking with you all today. I'm Grace. I'm the Recruitment Coordinator for Yahel. So while Donna is our big boss and could tell you a lot of interesting things, I'm actually who you get connected to first if you're interested. And we have an alum from our fellowship, Tosh, who's going to speak after me. But I just want to give you guys a quick overview of the work that we do. We're a nonprofit that has a number of programs to bring international volunteers here to Israel to do volunteer work with lots of different communities. Our biggest program is our 9-month fellowship. It's called the Yahel Social Change Fellowship. We run from October to June, so with the Israeli school system, because we work in schools, we want to be there the whole time. The basis of our fellowship is built on partnerships with local organizations. So over the 10 years of our fellowship, we've built really strong partnerships with local municipalities, with the school systems, with different community centers, youth centers, nonprofits and NGOs, all of these places doing great social change work in the communities where we do our service. And fellows have an individual schedule of 3 to 5, usually, different volunteer placements where they're doing work throughout the program. Everybody teaches English a couple of mornings a week in local schools. We're in elementary, middle, and high schools. Beyond that, the work that we're doing as volunteers is really diverse. It's all just about community needs. We're all about grassroots social change and about meeting the needs of the community that they're expressing. And then us as international volunteers can come in and support them. So beyond teaching English, we're working as grant writers and researchers in nonprofits and NGOs. We help to build and then run programs for youth centers and a lot of evening programs for youth at risk. We work to do community organizing and outreach for local activist groups. We're in community gardens. We're in community centers for old folks, all kinds of things. We're looking for all different types of people for our fellowship to meet those really diverse needs. We're a service learning organization. So in addition to all of that volunteer work that you're doing, there's one day a week where the whole fellowship comes together for what we call a learning day. And that's what we see as an opportunity to put that on the ground volunteer work into the larger context of learning about Israeli society and about social change and social issues all over the world. So on those learning days, we meet with different social workers, people who work in the Department of Education, people who work as professionals in the nonprofit and NGO field to get a sense of their individual and professional ideas about social change. and all those things that we're engaging with in our volunteer work. I want to take a minute just to tell you guys about the two cities where we work. We're in Lod and Rishon LeZion, which are two cities really in the center of the country in Israel, but more on the social periphery. In Rishon LeZion, we work in the Ramat Eliyahu neighborhood, which is a high population of Ethiopian Israeli immigrants, and we have really strong partnerships with the welfare department and the school systems there to be working with kids and families. Lod, which is right by the airport, you've probably driven through it if you've been in Israel, is a mixed city. So it's an Arab Jewish city and has a lot of really amazing things happening, a ton of nonprofits and NGO activity. And we work with the Jewish community, with the Arab community, and then there's a lot of work of shared spaces between Jewish and Arab residents there. It's funny for me to just be talking because normally I would be wanting to field your questions and I'd love to know what you guys want to know more about. But I'll take my last bit of time before handing it to Tosh to just also add that we have a number of seminars on our program where we travel around Israel on a 4 or 5 day trip together as a fellowship. And where the idea is we're visiting different organizations, doing social change work outside of the areas where we're doing our direct service. For example, we go to the south, to the Negev, and we visit Bedouin communities, and we learn especially about women's education and women's access to different career opportunities there. Seminars are a really wonderful part of our program. We take people from all over the world, people of all different backgrounds, all kinds of majors, all kinds of career experience. We're not technically a gap year program. We are for people with a college degree, generally ages 22 to 29. But I know that some of you fall into that category. We are really happy to have a lot of different countries coming into our cohort for next year. We don't have anyone from South Africa, so if anybody is interested, I would be really happy to talk to you. I think that's my opener. I'm happy to get to go first and to get to introduce Yahel, and I'll pass it over to Tosh, who is an alum of our fellowship and can tell you a bit more about her experience. Okay.
Hi.
Thank you, Grace.
Hi, thanks,
Tosh.
Grace. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm calling from London, so I'm from UK, and I was a Yahel Fellow 3 or 4 years ago now. I can't remember, but it was a really life-changing experience for me, and I wanted to tell you a bit about what my general average day was. So I volunteered in a school in the morning, which was crazy. Israeli schools were really exciting to be in, and complete culture shock. My first day was really exciting and challenging, and by the end I had really strong relationships with all of the teachers and the students, and some students who started off with kind of weak-ish English. We were having really great conversations by the end, and it was really rewarding to see the students kind of grow in their confidence throughout the year. And it was also a great way of engaging with Israeli society. So I had friends who kind of spent their gap year or time off maybe in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, and every experience is great. But for me, I really felt like living in Lod, which is where I was, I got to really see a part of Israeli society that I wouldn't have been able to before, and meet real people and real Israelis living outside of the traditional center of the country. So that was what I did in the morning. I worked in a school teaching small groups how to speak conversational English. And then in the afternoon, I went to an NGO called Jindas, which was working with the local community to kind of rebuild and rejuvenate the old city, which used to be like hundreds of years ago, kind of a really central part of Israel. But then over time, as the country changed, kind of became more derelict and not a tourist spot as it once used to be. So this was an NGO that was working with local community centres to kind of rebuild the area. And it was really interesting and really good for my CV, because I currently work in the non-profit NGO sector, and that really inspired my choice for my future career, and gave me lots of experience in a whole range of things, from kind of report writing, proposal writing, and also kind of marketing and comms. I rebuilt their website for them, which I thought was really cool to be able to do on your gap year. So I kind of got that balance of professional practice, but also learning about Israel as well, and meeting the local community. and that was the usual day. And then once a week we had learning sessions where we would all come together as a big group and learn about different aspects of Israeli society. And also for half the year we did an Ulpan, which was great, but don't ask me to speak any Hebrew because it's been too long. And that was really interesting as well because we got to learn about the communities that we were working with. So a large part of the program was working with the Ethiopian Israeli community. So it was one thing to kind of go to a traditional meal at an Ethiopian Israeli person's house, but we also kind of learned about that in our classes, and we learned about the history of Ethiopian Israelis coming to the country and the differences between the outlook on Judaism, and that's really stuck with me as well in all this time. And I think what was great about Yahel for me is that it was really service learning, so it paired the learning with the service, and I was able to like not only act on things that I was interested on, social action and engaging with Israeli society, but I was also able to like learn about it and get the grounding of the knowledge behind me as well. That was a bit of a ramble, but if anyone has
Great. Thank you very much, Tash. We'll in the end we'll open up questions so we can answer. I'm sure there'll be some questions for you. Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm going to now open the floor for Simon Cohen. Simon Cohen is the co-founder and admission director of Aardvark. Welcome, Simon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you all for joining us. If it's okay, I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully that'll work.
Yes.
And those who know my program will know that we actually have a lot of different things that we offer. So to fit it all into 10 minutes is going to be rather challenging. So I'm actually going to try and focus on what I think are some of the highlights, some of the things that stand out, especially for South Africans. And then I'll ask Benji, who is also joining us, Benji Pinkas, who was on the program last year, to kind of give his perspective as a graduate of the program. I think one of the things to know about the Aardvark Israel program is it's been around for 10 years. It's one of the longest, most established programs in Israel. It's one of the largest programs in Israel. We had 170 students on our program this year. And it's a very customizable program. You can really pick and choose and do lots of different elements of the program based on what you're interested in. That starts with the length of time you come for. We have a semester option, which is 4.5 months, starting in January and going through until the end of May. A 7.5 month option, which is including working in an American Jewish summer camp. And we have an 11-month option, which means coming back to Israel and doing whichever city you haven't already done. And the beauty of our program is living in both Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. There are very few programs which give you the opportunity to live in apartments in the middle of those two cities, downtown Jerusalem and the Florentine neighborhood of Tel Aviv. You're living like a young adult in those cities. You're learning life skills, cooking for yourself, cleaning for yourself, doing your own laundry, budgeting, shopping. There are no maids to do it for you, so you really have to, do it yourself and learn these skills. And at the same time, you have the freedom to come and go as you please and the independence. You can walk around. If you fancy sushi at 3 o'clock in the morning in Tel Aviv, you can certainly go and do that. And it's perfectly safe as well to do those kind of things. Another beautiful element of the program is the fact that our students are coming from all over the world. This is not a little South African bubble. This is not an opportunity just to be with Southern Hemisphere. You're really with people from literally all 4 corners of the earth, Jewish communities from North America, Europe, Australia, South America. And it's a really great opportunity to meet, interact, and live with young Jewish students from all over the world. A little bit about the program itself. We have a core program, and the key elements of the core program you can see on our sample weekly schedule here. The most important one, and the one that takes up the most time, is our internships and volunteering. This is a great opportunity to be immersed in Israeli society, meet and interact with Israelis, make Israeli friends, use and practice Hebrew, and more than that, build up your resume, your CV, and get some professional work experience and career development behind you. We have over 100 options in each city to choose from. whether that's volunteering in a school, kindergarten, hospital, soup kitchen. It could be working with victims of terror. It could be working with animals in the zoo or a vet. Alternatively, you can take the more internship route and be in a high-tech startup company, political think tank, NGO, TV, radio, newspaper, interning with a fashion designer, with a jewelry designer, a law firm, architect firm. I can go on and on and on, but I think you get the idea. And that's really a key element of the program. We have all sorts of classes going on. You choose which ones you do and how many you do. You do have to do Ulpan, which is Hebrew, and improve your Hebrew skills. Beyond that, we have Jewish studies, Israel studies. We have secular style classes like psychology, business, politics, history, geography, literature, and non-academic classes like spoken Arabic and yoga and creative art, fitness training, professional development program, a photography course. So all of that's going on as well, and you choose which ones you do and how many you do. Every week we're doing field trips all over Israel, as you can see on a Tuesday. Most of our students have been to Israel many times before. So what we're trying to do is take you off the beaten track to what we like to call the hidden gems of Israel, those secret places that tourists don't know about. Even Israelis don't go to the places we go to, and that's every single week of our program. Plus, 3 times per semester, we do longer trips where we spend a few days in the Golan Heights, the Galil, the Negev Desert, the Judean Desert. You really get to see the length and breadth of Israel whilst you're on our program. Every evening, there's social and cultural activities going on. They're optional. It's up to you. You can pick and choose whether or not you come. And weekends are predominantly free on our program. That's your time to explore Israel, visit friends, visit family, and do whatever you like. If you want to customize your experience further, we have the option to travel to, based on your interest and your budget. We have the option to travel to different countries around the world. We go to Spain, Czech Republic, China, Ethiopia, Italy, and Germany. If you sign up by June the 15th, you get one of those trips for free. We also have a volunteer program in Nepal. We have a Poland trip, which is a classic Poland trip, learning all about the Shoah. We also have special interest add-ons, which include sea sports, entrepreneurship, the chance to do Marva, which is basic training in the Israeli army, volunteering with Magen David Adom, the Israeli ambulances, and we have an Aardvark Extreme program for those who need their adrenaline fix whilst on the gap year program. We also have our Seller program, which is a Jewish studies program for those who want more Jewish learning and more opportunities for spiritual growth. And as I mentioned earlier, we have the opportunity to work in an American Jewish summer camp for the Israeli summer between June and May as well. That's kind of everything we offer in a nutshell. Obviously, I can talk about it a lot more, and I'd be more than happy to. So please feel free to reach out to me after the webinar is over. And in the meantime, I hand over to Benji Pinchas now, who did the program last year. He did the full year with us. He's from Johannesburg, and his brother also did the program, and he can tell you all about the Aardvark Israel program from his perspective. Thanks, Benji.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Benji, and I went to KDVP, King David Victory Park, and the reason I chose Aardvark was to kind of break the Jewish bubble, meet people from all around the world, and I could say I successfully did that. So basically my roommates were from America, from England. There were people from Russia that I even met. There were people, Australians are wild and crazy. I love them. And I basically had the best time of my life. And as Simon said, to elaborate on him, because he basically covered everything, was the free time was amazing. It was time to explore, go to the beaches in Tel Aviv, go to strange and unusual places, go to events. And that was truly incredible. Me and my friends found an event from a lot that we went to during our free time. And that just proves that you left to your own resources. And speaking about own resources, right now in quarantine, I'm using a bit of Aardvark skills, cooking, cleaning for myself without a maid. And I didn't even know how to turn on a stove or an oven. So it really does help in that regard. Also have company. I'm speaking to all these guys over FaceTime, Zoom calls, and you just form that bond with your roommate that I don't think you ever could find in your life. I go to my friend who is in Boston now all the time, and I stay with his family, and we basically become family. Yeah. So what did I actually do on Artvark besides this experience? So with my internship in Jerusalem, I'm going to speak about that, is I interned for a place called Julicious. And basically it's like a media company. He runs like a YouTube Jewish page called YouTube, which I had to run, which was really, really cool. Find Jewish videos all around the world. We did like a lot of filming for the site. So we did donut tasting. We did shuk tours. We did the Western Wall. We did the Western Wall tour. It was amazing. And just to film that and learn about the cameras and stuff that I use now today to help with my brother, to help with everyone, and just make Instagram more aesthetic. Classes were not. I was expecting classes to be kind of like, oh, it's all fun, but they were hella dope. Like there were art which I really, really liked, and like I got like some Picasso stuff now that I painted, and that I could hang up, and yeah, and I learned so much from art, like strokes, and also the therapy of art. I never knew how therapeutic it was. And that was really amazing. That was in Jerusalem that I did. Living in the two different cities was also really, really amazing. Tel Aviv, you get to see the more urban, more party vibes, and like the beach. Oof, I miss that, especially now everything's opening up in Israel. Beaches look incredible. My house isn't exactly a beach right now. Then I'm going to discuss, and then Jerusalem obviously was very spiritual. Learned a lot about my Judaism, and gun sucker is another different world. It's so beautiful, so relaxing. Picnics there every Saturday, every Shabbat. Amazing. I'm going to speak about my international trip now, which was Italy, which was so fun. I can't even explain. So I basically booked before June, which meant that I got the free trip to Italy. And wow, it was incredible. Like first of all, a trip is amazing with your friends, and that's what made it. So it was really fun. There was a lot of laughs, a lot of great food, great Italian food. Just for time's sake, I'm going to move to the summer camp. So I also did the summer camp. And basically before the summer camp, you get 2 weeks in the US traveling. We got to see the Book of Mormon, which was a dream of mine to see. And then we went to our summer camp, and that taught me really about like a proper paying job, because you get paid and you get to learn about responsibility, because the parents putting your trust into their kids. They putting their kids' trust into your hands. And it's really incredible to see. I went to Camp Nesher, which is an Orthodox camp. It was really crazy to see the American tunes of songs and their traditions, and just being able to have fun while doing a job. And I've made so many meaningful friends on that summer camp trip. All I could say is that it's amazing. And now today in university and things, and coming back to South Africa, what I can say that I've learned is I found myself. I'm not very cliquey anymore. I'm myself. I'm confident with myself. I'm happy with myself. And Artvark really taught me that. Artvark and the people around me really taught me that it's okay to be myself. It's okay to have vulnerabilities. It's okay to be insecure. It's okay to be strong. And you just learn this connection. You learn like true human value and connection with the tight groups. I know tight groups aren't a touchy subject right now, but you just learn about yourself, others, caring. And I think that's the Israel experience. So that's my time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Benji, and thank you for sharing your experience. It sounds like an amazing program. And what I would like to call up now, Dina, Dina is the director, and Melvin Rach, he's the head of registration of Kibbutz Ulpan. Melvin, you with us?
Yes, let me start. As we've not said, my name is Melvin Rach. I myself made Aliyah a long time ago from the Netherlands, 40 years ago. I'm an alumnus of the program that we're going to present right now, Kibbutz Ulpan. Dina is the director, and I'm the head of registration. And we are joined today by two participants in two different kibbutzim, which will speak after me. I'd like to share my screen as well, so let's start with this. If I just knew how to do that. Here we go.
Delivering Israel 360. Any party can join through pivots. Very few, if you start with a pivot. Be part of a community and a community. This contribution to Israel is free. Be part of a club where all responsibilities and tasks are shared and make a difference to the day-to-day running of the business. Be part of a diversified culture and uncover your undiscovered skills to collaborate, engage, and lead in a nature spirit. Be part of 9% of Israel's industrial output and 40% of the country's agricultural output. Pivots means together. So let's gather from all across the world to be part of Israel. Delivering Israel is be part of Israel.
Okay, that was a short video showing what kibbutz might look like. And I'm sure that the people on the kibbutz are will actually agree with me that this is not exactly the way it looks like, but we have to just a second, something is going wrong here. Just a second, sorry. Okay.
Should we come back to you, Melvin, or are you managing there?
All of a sudden, I don't see the share screen anymore. Here it is. Good. Good. All right. So we have a few things about the Kibbutz Ulpan program. Actually, there is no other program like Kibbutz Ulpan in the whole the Masa ecosystem. It's probably the longest running program, and we are more than 5 times older than Masa, 72 years. The first Kibbutz Ulpan was established in 1948. The Kibbutz Ulpan program has a reputation of the most comprehensive immersion program for learning Hebrew. Actually, we run in 7 kibbutzim, 5-month programs on different levels. Participants or candidates can actually choose from small kibbutzim with small ulpanim of 25, 24, 30 participants, and also larger kibbutzim like Kibbutz Yagur or Kibbutz Ma'agal Michael, which I will mention in a second. There are teachers that are recognized by the Ministry of Education. The participants, when they finish the Ulpan, also receive a certificate from the Ministry of Education. It's also recognized by the Jewish Agency. And actually, in this program, participants have a rare opportunity to work and study and live alongside Olim Chadashim, new immigrants to the States. So they actually see what dilemmas they go through, how they cope with the new reality. And in many, many cases, this rubs off on the participants, and many participants actually decide to stay in Israel, to change the status, become Olim Chadashim, and some of them join the army, some of them start working, but we have an aliyah rate of between about 25%, which is amazing. The kibbutz is one community, is a community where everything is provided for, lodging, board, the Hebrew classes, and it functions as a very safe haven, a very safe basis from where to explore the rest of Israel. Kibbutz is a unique form of lifestyle that you will not see anywhere else. A few years ago, I was amazed to hear from the director of Kibbutz Ma'agal Michael, where there were 85 participants coming from 25 different countries, which means that it's a very international program, not just social background, but also ages, because it's a program where people participate from the age of 18 till 30. One of the very strong things that we have experienced in the last couple of months with the COVID-19 outbreak, the kibbutzim have been continuing to cope with this reality. Very few of our participants left, and we had to struggle with the new reality, but we found ways in order to continue running the program. And even though all over Israel the situation was not as good as in other places, the kibbutz were a very, very safe place. So we run 5-month programs in 7 kibbutzim all over Israel. And that means that we have 14 different starting dates per year. And basically, it's one program with 7 different sessions. And the differences basically are in the size of the kibbutz, the size of the ulpan, the number of levels on which you can actually study Hebrew or improve your Hebrew. All kibbutzim, all 7 kibbutzim have a starters program, Kita Aleph, but many have also Kita Bet and Kita Gimel, and one kibbutz even has Kita Dalet for very advanced students. There's also difference in workplaces. In some kibbutzim, the emphasis is on working, which is kind of volunteering actually, compulsory volunteering in the factories and the kibbutz, the dining hall, the food branches, but also working outside in the garden, in the fish ponds, chicken coop, cow sheds. All kibbutzim have 5 trips during the 5 months. And we spoke earlier about 7 kibbutzim. 2 of them are a bit special. One of them is kibbutz Sde Eliyahu. We actually have a participant, a South African participant, who is also on this Zoom and will give us input a little bit about his experience there. Kibbutz Sde Eliyahu is a religious kibbutz, Shomer Shabbat, and we have another kibbutz, or 2 kibbutzim, that have internship options, Kibbutz Na'an and Kibbutz Tzuba. And Kibbutz Tzuba is actually an Etzion Ulpan, which means that the participants are between the ages of 22 and 35. professionals and academics. I'd like to ask Max and Nicole to share a little bit about their experience, especially a little bit of why they chose Kibbutz Ulpan program, a little bit of their findings in the kibbutz, and of course, in what way they have grown throughout the program. Shall we start with Nicole from Kibbutz Magal Michael?
Hi, my name's Nicole Scher. I'm currently doing the Magal Michael Ulpan program. I live in South Africa. I used to live in South Africa in Pretoria. Not many Jews there, but I used to live there, still have family there. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the program I'm on. Basically, Kibbutz Magal Michael is one of the largest kibbutzim in Israel. It's massive. It's absolutely massive. It's very, very beautiful. I think one of the biggest Kibbutz Ulpan programs. Before the whole Corona situation, we had 86 participants from 21 or 22 countries, something like that, and from most continents. Now we're a little less because some people left, but it's the most amazing experience you can have. Basically, how a day works here is you work 4 hours and you study 4 hours. We're very lucky in the sense because we have 4 kibbutz. We have Kit Aleph, Bet, Gimel, and Dalet, which is very helpful because you'll always fit into at least one class for your level. Work also, we're very lucky in that sense because there's a variety of work options you can go to. You can work there's 2 factories here. There's fish ponds, gardening, everything. Also, which is really, really amazing about this program is that you're not only interacting with people from other countries, you're interacting with kibbutzniks, you're interacting with people that the Ulpan are now made Aliyah and are living in Israel, which has actually helped me to make decisions on what I'd like to do in my future. Another thing that you spoke about was the Tiolim. Unfortunately, because of Corona, we only got to go on one. They are trying to organize some for us. Another aspect of how amazing the kibbutz life is during the whole Corona, we kind of didn't stop carrying on. We carried on with our lives here. We had Zoom classes every day. Our teachers were unbelievable. They still are unbelievable. They always helping us, sending us things. We can go to the office to print and do all sorts of things. We also were allowed to carry on with the charochel to get food. The laundry services carried on, and we also carried on working. So our life here didn't stop. There were obviously restrictions and sorts of things. I'll speak a little bit about the facilities we have here. We have an amazing beach. One of the most beautiful in Israel, I'd say. I've been to quite a few beaches here, but it's unbelievable here. It's about a 15-minute walk from our rooms. We have a moadon, like a club, where we can, there's a TV, there's a proper kitchen, where we can study and learn. We also have 2 kibbutz. They're really big. We can have about 25 people in each. There's also a pub on the kibbutz, which is amazing. You get to interact with Israelis. Then we have 23 bedrooms for the Ulpanistim. 3 people in each room. They are quite small, not quite used to what South Africans are used to. We have to clean our rooms. We do get checked every week. We have a small bathroom to share and a small cupboard to share, but I've managed. Also, a nice thing is that it helped me because I only turned 18 in December last year, and I came here being 18 in 1 month. Quite young, leaving home. I've become very independent and responsible because you've got to, if you have work at 7 a.m. in the morning, you're there 10 to 7 or 5 to 7. got to be responsible and on time. So it's helped me learn a lot of life lessons. Yeah, so I mean, it's really an experience. I actually am going to do another ulpan here on Kibbutz Magan Michael after this. I feel that my Hebrew, I'd like to make, like you said, a lot of people make Aliyah after this. I'm going to start my Aliyah process and then draft in the army next year. That's my plan. So I'm going to try, because of the whole corona, I feel like I need to improve my Hebrew before I go into the army. So I am going to do another ulpan here. It's the best place to be, honestly, the best place to be. In my opinion, I made the best choice of leaving South Africa, coming here, starting a new chapter in my life. Yeah, that's a little bit about Marga Michael. I'll answer some questions afterwards.
Great, thank you, Nicole. Max or Avadia?
Hello everyone, my name is Avadia Moritz. I'm 19 years old and I'm from South Africa, Johannesburg. And I've always been on the fence whether I wanted to make Aliyah or not. Because I've done all programs in the past, like Hadracha, which is a B'nai Akiva program, and then a rugby and all of that. But I only came here for 2 or 3 weeks. So I wasn't really sure if I could actually live here. And I think this is the beauty of Kibbutz Opan, because when I first arrived here, within the first month, I knew this is a place where I could live and I'd love to live. So I'm on Kibbutz Sder Eliyahu. It's an absolutely amazing kibbutz. We have so many options of work to choose from, which is really nice. But because of Corona, some of the jobs weren't available. But for myself, I worked in the organic gardens, which is insane. You get out and then after work, you take a walk to the Mayan and go for a swim, which is unbelievable. And then also in terms of like the independent side of it, being a South African boy, you know, you didn't ever really clean your room or do your laundry or make your own supper. But it's a completely different story here. Here we have to make our own supper, and it's like it really teaches you to like grow up and be a man and to learn what things you need to do. Like we do our own washing now and we clean our room all the time, which is amazing. The kibbutz is very beautiful. The people here are really nice. All the host families are the best. And even though we don't get them, like we see them at the Kobo, we speak to them, they really, really are such good people. The Madrichim are amazing. They really are there for you all the time. Our director, Yael, could be the nicest guy I've ever met, by far. He's always there for us no matter what, and they're always there to care for you no matter what problem you go up to. If you just want to talk to them about something, they're there for you. The best part about the kibbutz, I definitely think, is the accommodation. It's very beautiful here. We got 2 in a room with a bathroom and a shower, and it's like the room itself is really nice. You get a kettle, a little fridge, everything's like set out for you. And it's like, yeah, so the kibbutz is very beautiful itself. And then also we got a very nice moadon with, like, it's the same as Magan Michael Kanov. We also have a TV and a kitchen. And then also we've got 2 different classes. So when we first arrive, you do an interview, and then they find out your Hebrew level. So either you're in Kitzur Aleph or Kitzur Bet. And so for me, not having any Hebrew background, the teachers here have been phenomenal. They've really helped me get it up to a basic level in just 2-3 months, which is insane. And if there are any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Thank you very much, Avadia.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Melvin, and thank you, Avadia. Appreciate you sharing with us about Kibbutz Ulpan. I'm actually going to introduce you to Chassia Tao. She's the director of WEMO Israel. Chassia, are you with us? Chassia?
Yeah. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about Waymore Israel, and then we'll share a screen as well. Waymore Israel is a very unique program in that it combines a lot of the things we've been speaking about here into one very unique program. What we do is, I'll share a screen with you as well. Hold on just a minute. I'll first tell you a little bit about our program. So what we do in Israel, we come, again, we mostly have students from North America, a lot of South Africans. Thankfully, the last year we had a very, very big percentage of South Africans. And I'll tell you why. We are a post-high school program. And when people come to Israel, we really found they're looking for many things. We want to immerse in the culture. I think, like Simon mentioned, a lot of the people that are coming on these programs have already been to Israel once before, be it birthright or with family, and they kind of fell in love with the country. And now we want to take it a step further. So what we offer in the first part of the program is Israel Immersion. We immerse into the Israeli culture. There's Ulpan every day. They get to learn their surroundings. Now, our dorms are based in the old city of Jerusalem, which is pretty unique. We're actually one of the only programs there. It sounds a little interesting. Some people question it. Will it be fun? It's very spiritual. It actually is an amazing experience. It's really just a cultural Israeli experience for all of you, or any of you who have been to the old city. You have people coming from all walks of life all day long, and it's really just an observing experience. We find it to be, our participants love it. So first of all, our participants come to stay in the old city of Jerusalem. That's where our dorms are based. And what we offer there is, like I said, Ulpan, discovering the Israeli culture, discovering the different parts of Israeli society, be it secular, Orthodox, Ethiopian, Arab, Israeli, and so forth, immigrants, people who've been here for years and years and years, seventh generation. Then the second part of the program is Internship and Volunteering, where you really get to intern in whatever field that your expertise is in, or what you are learning, or what you would like to learn. Very often we have students that they haven't learned yet, but they think this might be a good field for them. And then we really give them the opportunity to try and discover that on their own and see if that's a good fit for them. Past internships, we have volunteering, where we really give back to the Israeli society, and we give back on all different levels. Some of the volunteering is mandatory and some is optional, so that you really get to discover everything. And if you want to give back more, you do. So we volunteer with soldiers, we volunteer with the elderly, we volunteer with soup kitchens, children that need, children at risk, etc. So you really get a chance to just give back to society. Just this week we went vegetable picking with Leket, which is a phenomenal experience. Our students really enjoyed, now that we're able to get out and about. And the third aspect of our program, which is very unique to Waymore Israel, is the family atmosphere, the learning atmosphere, and the growing atmosphere. What do I mean? In Waymore Israel, we look at the individual. It's not just about bringing people to Israel and giving them the experience of a lifetime and giving them the opportunity to grow and internship and discover Israel, but we take every person as an individual, and we really want to help them in whatever area they're looking for. So for instance, if one person wants to discover Judaism and Shabbat, etc., so we're going to give them that opportunity. If another person would like to discover more history, so we give them museum trips. Now the structure of the program is as such. Monday through Thursday every week we have trips. That's when the trips take place. Sorry, Monday through Thursday, again, Monday through Thursday is internships. Internships take place 4 days a week. On Sunday is trip day. So every Sunday we're taking our groups on trips. The trip also has meaning behind it. So it's not just about getting to know the country, even though that's the most enjoyable part. It's actually about getting to understand some sort of dynamic. So maybe it's going to be understanding the Gaza-Israel conflict. Maybe it's going to be understanding the South and how does it flourish. Maybe it's going to be understanding the settlements and etc. Different sectors of society. We get to go to the Bedouin tents and discover the Ethiopians. And it's really a very interesting mesh that we, together with our trips, we really try to involve a learning experience in an enjoyable fashion, be it treasure hunts or scavenger hunts around the city they haven't been to yet, etc. Once a month during the program, we have a Shabbat Zone, which is an organized Shabbat. Sometimes it's going to be in the old city, in the dorms where some people come in, or it's going to be in very random cities throughout the country. And they get to discover different cities, different families. And the whole idea that you're understanding here is we really like to give an immersion experience. So you come into Israel and you get to meet different families on Shabbat. You get to meet different people in the old city, different sectors of society, and kind of observe and take it all in. And the trips, there's also one big trip at the end of the program, which is usually about a week in a big, beautiful villa up north where we do just really good time, let loose. This is after all the internships are over. And I will add one more part about the atmosphere and the feeling of the program is that we really try to emphasize the family of the program. We have a very strong family unit of Weimar Israel alumni, which means even once you're finished with Weimar Israel, it's not we're sending you off and good luck. We really maintain a connection, be it through Facebook groups. Once a year we have alumni get-togethers in New York. Hopefully if we have enough South African participants, we can have one in South Africa as well. And that way we really maintain a connection. We maintain a long-term connection. Our madrichim and madrichot that come onto the program are committed to this long-term relationship, which is really something very unique and I think special about our program. And we've had, unfortunately, I didn't have a student that was able to speak here today, but they really find a very special connection to Israel, to themselves, to their meaning, to what they can do and what they can do to give back to themselves, learn about themselves more, their roots, their heritage, their profession, where they're really going in life. And all that being said, they really make such new friends. Our summer group is fantastic. I'll just tell you such a nice story, which I think really tells you what Weimar Israel is all about. During the summer, we also run a short summer program. It's a 2-month program. Once Corona started, we reached out to our summer group, who has its own alumni page, and we said, hey, let's make a chat and we can all Zoom, have a webinar just like this, and discuss how everyone's doing, where you're holding in life, where does quarantine meet you. And they actually sent us a screenshot of themselves doing the exact thing the previous night. They said, hey, we just organized one. And that's really the family unit Weimar Israel created. So aside from discovering Israel and discovering their internship and their field of interest, there's really a very big sense of growing up and independence and discovering who you are. And I would say that's Weimar Israel in a nutshell. Give me 1 second. Let's share my screen if I can. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, let me just see if I can share my screen. Okay. So over here, so this is Weimar Israel. Weimar Israel, like we market ourselves and what we really are, is immerse yourself. Again, it's not an experience of just coming back to Israel and walking the shuk again, even it's really an experience of walking through the shuk and finding different places to be. Over here we have About Us, okay? About Us is exactly as we described. Weimar Israel is split up into 3 categories. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. Hold on just 1 moment. Okay. Okay, the program details. So this is exactly what we were discussing. We're broken up into 3 aspects. And I think for every participant, this really answers all the questions of what we're looking for. So of course, for every person, something else is interesting them intensely. But we start off with coming Ulpan and touring. We get to really discover Jerusalem, discover Israel, and feel comfortable, become a citizen in Israel. That's really the point. Internships and volunteering, that's when we really get to discover who you are, try to find the field, the internship that interests you alongside to volunteering. And experiencing Israel, which is our trips. We really get to learn about Israel, enjoy the land, get to ask questions, have a great time. And in addition to that, every Monday and Wednesday night, twice a week, we have programming, which really just means group building activities. We either go on trips within Jerusalem, making a barbecue together, going and just having a great time together. We're close to Teddy Park, for those who are familiar, which is a great park. And that's Weimar Israel, really giving an overall full experience to the student that wants to come and experience Israel and do it all. Thank you, Livnat.
Thank you, Hasia. I think next what we're going to call Victoria from Maslul. Hi, Victoria.
Hello, hi guys. So I am Victoria. I come from Slovakia, and I'm currently in a program called Maslul Ishi. It's basically a program that is very flexible. All the participants can choose what they would like to do and for how long. I think the program is from 4 up to 10 months. And also maybe even less, like if you want to experience Israel only for 2 months, it's completely fine. I chose to stay in Israel for 10 months from September, and my program will finish soon in like June or July. What I'm doing here, I live in Tel Aviv. We have accommodation really in the center of Tel Aviv. We live close to Rothschild's, where all the fun and nightlife is. Besides, I'm studying in Ulpan. I really wanted to take this year as a gap year and enjoy Tel Aviv and like get to know maybe Israelis, the culture. So I decided to take intensive Ulpan classes. Before Corona started, I had like 5 hours of Hebrew every day. And some of my flatmates were choosing to do also maybe some internships. Like they were choosing, for example, internships in interior designs or fashion, or also volunteering and teaching English in schools. I'm telling, like, this program is very flexible, and whatever you feel like doing, you can choose basically anything. And like one thing I really like about Israel, and I was not expecting, was you really meet amazing people, and also you make friendships that will last, I think, your whole life, because you know you share apartments together, you go out together. It's just a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying so far my year in Israel.
Thank you, Victoria. I'm going to ask Simon Cohen to speak a little bit about Masa Year of Service. Hi, Simon.
Hi there. Hi, everyone. So I don't actually represent Masa Year of Service, but the person who does do it can't join us right now. So Masa Year of Service is really aimed at students who want a more immersive Israeli experience and want to do Shnat Shirut with Israelis in Israel. You'll be living in apartments in Haifa. Oh, hold on, Uriel's coming in now. Hold on, Uriel's going to do it better than me. But there you go, I started. Wait one sec.
Thank you. Thanks, Simon.
That's okay.
Is he with us?
Or he's not entering, I don't know. But Uriel represents Masa. He represents the gap year segment of Masa, and he's going to talk about the Masa Year of Service, which is a new program starting in January. The idea being to be a Shnat Shirut for Chornikim, Shnat Shirut for diaspora Jews, to basically join and do Shnat Shirut in Israel. And that means volunteering in places like hospitals and schools for a significant amount of your time here. It's really like Shnat Shirut, like the year of service that Israelis do prior to or instead of the Israeli army. You'll be based in Haifa, you'll be living in apartments, you'll get a little bit of Ulpan, you'll have a few field trips and some enrichment activities, but the main focus is really on doing something meaningful with your time in terms of volunteering in Israeli society, particularly the poorer elements of Israeli society, the poorer areas of Israeli society, and really being able to make a difference as a Israeli 18-year-old would on Shnat Shirut. So that's kind of a brief intro into it. If Uriel joins us, he'll be able to tell you more.
Okay, he is. All right, he's not able to join us at the moment, but thank you very much for the intro. I appreciate it, Simon. I think we've come to the end, and I would like to ask if anybody has any questions. You're welcome to ask away. No questions today? I think a few people have left already. Okay. All right. I think just a few people had to leave. I saw in the chat, yeah. But actually, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. Does anybody have anything to add? Nothing to add. Okay.
I would just like to thank you,
Yes.
Livnat, for this opportunity to share
Thank
our programs with potential participants. Hoping that the others will follow suit in other countries as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining, Melvin. It was lovely to see you. And thank you, everybody, for joining and taking your time out for this meeting.
Thank you.
And take care. Stay healthy. Thank you.
Bye. Chag Sameach, everybody.
Chag Sameach.